Hey guys, how's it going? It's I, the real Randy Chavez. A couple of things to go over today. Lots of record prices. So I have a Blaine's Moltres First Edition BGS 9.5. Got a BGS 9.5 because everything was 9.5 except for the corners. The corners were a 9, which is fine. Still sold for $1,500. I actually think if a Blaine's Moltres First Edition PSA 10 sells for about 4 grand, then this should actually be a little bit more expensive. Maybe about 2,000. Just my opinion. Again, it's not a quad 9, so take it for what it is. Either way, this is a new record price point. And we have Dragonite, first edition PSA 9. Remember earlier this year when this was like $200, $300, and then, $400, and then I was like, oh, wow, this reached $500 really quickly. Well, the top 6 bids were 680, 700, 720, 770, 810. 810 had 0 feedback, and then another person at 810. So that was a winning bid. Either way, all of these would have been record price points. This is absolutely freaking insane how much that jumped in like 2 weeks. And we had a Lapras first edition PSA 9. Remember when mine, like 2 days ago, was the record price point that I sold it for at like 350 or 375, whatever it was? Okay. Well, these top like 8 bids were 385, 430, 450, 470, 480, 500, and 510 was a winning bid. That is absolutely freaking insane. It jumped $140 in 2 days. Let me actually, I do have a calculator here, so let me see what, say 375. Increased 35% in 2 days. That is freaking nuts. So, moving past that, speaking of another one that is increasing like a Dominatrix, Dark Blastoise, first edition PSA 9. The Dominatrix didn't make sense, but sold for, well, we have 6 bids, 420, nice. 500, 520, 550, and the top 2 bids were 650 and 654. And I think the last one was like 450 that sold. So, God, 450. This is like a 40%. It's like a 43% increase again in a couple of weeks. So, this is why I made that video the other day of if I had an extra 10 grand, what would I invest it in? Would I invest it in stocks or would I invest in Pokemon cards? Always Pokemon cards. Now, Kangaskhan, first edition PSA 9, sold for $219. It is a record price point for this one too, but, however, this is not every single card is going to explode 30% in like a week. It just doesn't happen. Or it doesn't happen most of the time. I guess some of the times it does. But God, these are insane. Moltres, first edition PSA 9, sold for $370. I think that's record as well. Ditto, first edition PSA 9, sold for $199. Misty's Gyarados first edition PSA 9 sold for $255. Finally, something that's not a record price point. And then we're back to the record price point. So Shadowless Charizard PSA 6 sold for $1451. Shadowless Charizard PSA 9. Want to know the top 6 bids on this? 9,300, 9,500, 9,900. Remember when I sold my BGS 9 for like 4 grand? 10,600, 12,000, and the winning bid was $12,100. These doubled inside of 2 weeks. This isn't even first edition. This is just Shadowless. I'm so perplexed by the amounts that I'm seeing here and the amount of absolute influxion of cash that it's going into these cards right now. Charizard in general, first edition, Shadowless, and Unlimited are both absolutely spiking. Base set in general is just absolutely spiking. Dark Raichu first edition PSA 9. This record price point makes a little more sense on why it jumped so much. Top 5 bids were 250, 261, 271, and 271 would have been a record by itself. But then the top 2 bids were 405 and 410. Now the 410 only had 6 feedback, so maybe that didn't go through. Maybe it goes to the 405. But either way, the top 2 bids were $134 and $39 away from the other ones. Maybe that happened in the last couple seconds. I don't know. But either way, record price point by a long shot. Then we had Lieutenant Surge's Magneton, first edition PSA 9, sold for $133. Kabutops, first edition PSA 8, sold for $86. Now, I wanted to bring up Blaine's Charizard, first edition PSA 10, because we had that record price point of $5,800 yesterday. Now, since then, all other ones were taken off that were on there at the time. Now we have a couple new listings. We have the 20 grand that was always there. That's going to stay there like for 2 years. we're gonna have a one that is $7 grand or best offer. So they raised. So whoever had it at $6 grand, they took that down. They put it up for $7K, and they made it an or best offer. So we'll see where that goes. And then there's one on auction that just came up like 30 minutes ago, and of course I offered like $4 grand and then like 4,500, and then they both got declined. So I was like, okay. And as soon as somebody bids on what it says an auction or best offer, as soon as someone bids, that option's taken away. Or maybe that's to buy it now. I don't know. Someone correct me on that. Either way, I just bid 2,500 on it because that was a starting bid. And then there's a couple of PSA 9 Blaine Charizards first edition, but the cheapest one is 2,400 or best offer. Which I think there's two scenarios here in which will play out. Either the 2,400 or best offer is too high because that doesn't fit the formula at all. For the 2,400 to be correct, minimum that PSA 10 has to be $7,200. And I'm not saying that Blaine's Charizard won't get there, but I just don't think the PSA 9 should be 2,400 right now. I think the PSA 9 should be about 15 to 2,000, maybe 2,000. Because again, the 10 sells for normally 5 to 8, but in lower cases 3 times what the 9 sells for, 2,400, it'd be 7,200 minimum. That's what it has to be. And maybe the Blaine's Charizard PSA 10 will go up. I don't know. I mean, we had a record price point of 5,800 the other day, and the cheapest one anyone wants to do is 7K or best offer. So we'll see what happens with that. But that's just the Blaine's Charizard, and we have the Shadowless is absolutely killing it. See you later, Al. And again, that first edition, that PSA 9 Charizard that sold for $50,000. I don't know if that'll be replicated anytime soon, but I do know that everyone that is receiving $35,000 offers for their first edition PSA 9 Charizard is not taking it. I have that one guy, Guru Collectibles, that is offering 42 grand for it. Nobody's taking him up on that offer yet. He's someone that people might not want to deal with just because of he has that flipper mentality. But most other offers have been for $35,000 and no bites for anyone. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. See where it goes. And again, it's not just the 10s and the 9s that are shooting up, because the 10 we had that sale for $150 and multiple other people willing to throw down $150,000 for that card, and no one's biting on it. Because as soon as you sell that card, you're not getting it back. It's either going into a collection or the price is going to increase another 20%, and like, okay, I have to pay $180,000 for it, and that's just not something you want to do. So again, that's all relative. If you have someone can throw 6 figures around, maybe $130,000 isn't that much of a difference for them. But again, that's just something that you have to, even though that's the price, you have to have someone that's willing to sell. And there's fewer and fewer people that are willing to sell. The only reason these people are selling is because last year you can get them for $40,000, and this year it's 4x that. So that's why you're having a couple sales. But outside of that, once that supply dries up, you're not going to be able to get those again. That's why I want to get this Trophy Kangaskhan as soon as I can. That is going. I'm taking a 4-man team for that into where I'm going to pick it up. I'll let you guys know like the day after it happens. I'll just take a quick video on the train because I believe it'll be a 6-figure. I believe it is a 6-figure item. I just got it for $80K. I just need protection for it. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Let me know if you want me to cover any other sets, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.